I've had a few viewers ask me what my version of the DCU would look like if I were the one starting it from scratch. So I took a step back, looked at what we already have in motion, and realized Superman is kind of the perfect launching point. Along with Lanterns and Supergirl also on the horizon, I figured I could build from those foundations and create a connected story. What follows is 100% my vision on how I'd move things forward. Granted, with Superman already there beforehand. The ideas aren't fully fleshed out yet, but the framework is there. A clear through line that takes us from the birth of the universe to a major team-up within 5 years. Along the way, the story would embrace the gods and monsters theme while digging deep into who those heroes are, why they matter, and the role they play in shaping their world. Year 1. Superman. Lex Luthor, desperate to rid the world of Superman, turns to technology far beyond his own understanding, but his attempts backfire spectacularly, rallying the world behind Superman instead of against him. Luthor's schemes end with him imprisoned, yet this is only the beginning of his larger game. Then we get to a Lanterns TV show. Now, mind you, this is my vision moving forward. After Superman, things will come out in the direction that I would have done them, not how James Gunn envisions it. This is how I would do it. So next would be a Lanterns TV show, a grounded cosmic mystery. When Vandal Savage captures Hal Jordan, he seeks to claim a Green Lantern ring to fuel his quest against an approaching supernatural threat, Trigon. Jon Stewart is drawn into the fight as Hal Jordan is getting older. They are facing dangers that stretch beyond the Corps' imagination. So, with Superman releasing in the middle of 2025, I felt, hey, only one show then to end the year. I know Peacemaker Season 2 is already part of the DCU. You can throw that in here if you want to. That's just not part of my plan, but it's neither here nor there at this point with my plan. We would then start the second year of everything with Batman, Brave, and the Bold. Ra's al Ghul uses Deathstroke as his weapon, his mercenary, in a bid to take his grandson Damian Wayne from Bruce. Talia is presumed dead. Damian was sent to Bruce before she died to be raised by him. This will be a story of Damian's mistrust in Batman, yet desire for wanting a father, while Bruce is struggling with a dark secret that is still fresh: the death of Jason Todd. By the end of the film, Deathstroke gets the upper hand and incapacitates Batman and takes Damian. This forces Alfred to call an old friend of Bruce, Dick Grayson, back to the Batcave. Damian, after seeing his father's weakness, willingly goes with Deathstroke, despite Grayson's interference in helping Batman. This would then begin setting up the Nightwing solo movie, which we get to next. This picks up with Dick reeling from the death of Jason Todd. He's bitter over Bruce's failure as a father figure. We would see this a bit in Brave and the Bold. Dick would also be struggling with his past and his upbringing. Despite his doubts, he sees Bruce is once again letting another child down, and he decides he must step up and embrace his new mantle, Nightwing. Lady Shiva would be the main antagonist as Dick attempts to find his way to Damian. Batgirl is in the film as well and helps along the way. Nightwing and Damian have a heart-to-heart as Dick helps Damian realize that Bruce isn't all that bad of a father figure. Convincing Damian to give him a chance, the three of them, Nightwing, Damian, and Batgirl, all take on Deathstroke and win, proving that Nightwing has become not just the hero he was always meant to be, but quite the leader as well. Next up is Supergirl. Kara Zor-El has a cosmic adventure as she attempts to find herself. She does this by befriending a young girl and helping her exact revenge for her dead father. It's a coming-of-age story and realizing how powerful she can be as a symbol even outside the shadow of her cousin, Superman. Brainiac is then introduced in the closing moments of this film as he takes notice of the Kryptonian, following her home to Earth, and now seeing two surviving Kryptonians sparks his curiosity. For now, he chooses to observe, waiting for the right moment to strike. We get a new show, Blue and Gold. Jaime Reyes continues adjusting to life as Blue Beetle when a brash, time-traveling man obsessed with Superman arrives, calling himself the greatest hero of all time, Booster Gold. What begins as a rivalry evolves into a partnership when the two uncover evidence that billionaire Maxwell Lord is manipulating technology for sinister purposes. Together, they expose the truth and join the ranks of the emerging Justice Gang. And remember, I like the starting point of Superman. I am using the starting point of Superman here, so elements like the Justice Gang and some of the same characters from Superman will be utilized throughout. Year 3, we will see the sequel to Superman, Superman 2. We see Brainiac maneuvers from the shadows, quietly manipulating public opinion until Lex Luthor is freed from prison. Together, they craft a new weapon, Metallo, a cunning, lethal creation designed to challenge the Kryptonians. As Superman battles Metallo, Brainiac reveals himself as the true mastermind, although Luthor, amused, admits he suspected all along. When Metallo ultimately turns on Brainiac, chaos erupts, forcing Superman to survive an assault orchestrated by both of his greatest enemies. Now we get a Wonder Woman movie. After the dark revelation in Creature Commandos, Diana seeks answers from Circe about her apocalyptic visions. What she learns is far worse than before. The tyranny she had seen just a few years ago has been replaced with something far darker. An Earth enslaved under a cosmic being, alien ships blotting out the sky, and heroes twisted into his servants. The prophecy of destruction looms. Now we get a show that's a little more on the supernatural side with Constantine. John Constantine senses turmoil in the underworld. Demons scatter as if fleeing a coming storm, or Trigon. Crossing paths with Vandal Savage, who is still licking his wounds from lanterns, the two forge an uneasy alliance. Their mission? Find and kill a young girl named Raven before she becomes the vessel for her father's arrival. Now we get a sequel to The Batman, Brave and the Bold. Bruce returns, but his legacy haunts him. The Bat family, Nightwing, Damian, and Batgirl struggle under his shadow. When Ra's al Ghul resurrects Jason Todd, turning him into a weaponized Red Hood, the family begins to fracture. One by one, members of the Bat family fall into the Red Hood's hands. This forces Bruce to confront his greatest failure, raising broken soldiers instead of healing his own wounds. The supernatural price of his mistakes finally comes due. In year 4, we see the Teen Titans. Nightwing gathers Damian, Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg, kids barely 14 and 15 years old, into a fledgling team. But Constantine and Vandal Savage hunt Raven, determined to end her before Trigon arrives. The Titans struggle to defend her, and while Constantine ultimately finds a way to suppress Raven's darkness without killing her, Vandal Savage abandons the alliance. The Titans earn their place as protectors of the next generation, even if the shadow of Trigon still looms. Our next show, Emerald Warriors. After the loss of Hal Jordan, John Stewart embraces his role as Earth's newest Green Lantern. His journey leads him to Star City, where the villain Sportsmaster seeks to prove himself by taking on a lantern. When this conflict drags Green Arrow into the fight, the two heroes forge an unlikely bond in a street-level, high-octane battle. By the end, both are recruited into the new Justice Gang. This then leads into year 5, where we get the Justice League. This all culminates where Brainiac launches his invasion. He goes to divide Earth's heroes. He exploits Raven's darkness, pushing her towards unleashing Trigon. Using Maxwell Lord to breach the Hall of Justice, Brainiac spreads his corruption across the globe. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Jon Stewart, Green Arrow, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner fight Brainiac's robotic armies. The Titans, Constantine, and the Bat family struggle against a possessed Raven. Lex Luthor, of all people, becomes humanity's last line of defense, outsmarting Brainiac in cyberspace and cutting off his access to Earth systems, all while making the toughest decision he will ever make: allow Superman to be defeated or save the world from destruction. Constantine manages to pacify Raven, putting her into a deep sleep before Trigon can arrive. Defeated but not destroyed, Brainiac retreats, furious at the unlikely alliance that thwarted him. Luthor, hailed as Earth's savior, enjoys redemption in the public eye. Now, the Justice League is finally forged, united at last against the threats still to come. The reason for this story is at the heart of this saga is Superman. Not just as a hero, but as a standard. For years, Earth's metahumans have operated unchecked, shaped by corporations, egos, and power plays. Heroes became commodities, and in their reckless abandon, they lost sight of what their true heroism means. Into this fractured landscape arrives Superman, the alien outsider who is more human than any of them. Many dismiss him as a Boy Scout, a naive do-gooder blinded by ideals. But that's exactly what makes him dangerous to villains, to cynics, and to the status quo. He represents a version of heroism untainted by greed or trauma, a symbol of hope that doesn't bend to corruption or compromise. And slowly, his presence forces everyone else to look inward and ask, what kind of hero or person do I want to be? All the characters from Batman to Green Lantern, Booster Gold, and even Lex Luthor are confronted with their own flaws and choices when faced with Superman's example. By the time the Justice League unites, the world has shifted. Heroes and villains aren't defined by corporate agendas, violence, or self-interest. They're defined by their ability to rise above those flaws. The lesson of this universe is that the greatest superpower isn't flight, strength, or magic. It's the courage to be better. Superman becomes the North Star, the hero everyone strives towards, and in following his lead, they don't just save the world, they become worthy of protecting it.